Hey guys, so it's me here, and I was going to do I've been working on a little bit of a cymbal rig video for the last too long. I got a couple of people that follow me that have taken an interest into my cymbals, and I've been wanting to look at some videos like that to post. So I thought I've got some interest in it. And I think it'd be kind of fun. So today we're going to check out my awesome Soultone cymbals and this brand right here. I don't know if there will be a website with it. There probably will. I have the distinct honor and privilege to be able to endorse Soultone as an artist. That is not the reason why I support Soultone Cymbals as much as I do. Obviously, that's very much a part of it. I am an artist. That means it's part of the responsibilities. But in all honesty, I truly do love the cymbals. One of the things, if anybody out there is an endorsing artist or anything of that nature, you know that, truth be told, you just love the gear. And it's easy to love something like this. Like the cymbals. And it makes it easier to promote something and endorse it when you really do love it. So that's why today we're going to be going through. I'm going to show you guys what I use. Obviously you can go to the SoultoneCymbals.com website, look up endorsers. I'm under L. And you can find actually a list of the cymbals that I use. What you see here is what you have. These are the only ones that I have, but they are on the list. But today we're going to be going through kind of a video of it. Going to kind of give you guys what I would almost call like an unfiltered look. A lot of times whenever you watch my drum covers and my drum videos on my page here, a lot of times there's really no overhead. There seldomly is going to be an actual overhead microphone. I actually have my overhead that I normally would use over right here. I'm looking at the frame too. That's an F15. Sometimes I have it as an overhead. It's just way up here out of frame. But that's very seldom. Because to be honest, most of my drum mics are hot enough to capture the drums really nicely, but I'm in a room that's very hard. There's nothing to really absorb and displace that sound. So they can get pretty loud in here, and it doesn't take really any bit of an overhead to capture them. And you guys can kind of hear me whenever I play them, so it does justice. But today we're going to take more of a, I would call an unfiltered look. A lot of drummers that I've talked to, they say, well, I've looked into them, but I don't know really the natural sound. I don't know the raw sound. I don't know the sound whenever they haven't gone through an equalizer or a compressor or anything like that. All I run is basically equalizing. I don't run a compressor of any sort. I've got some stuff on the camera that's very minimal. I've got, I believe, a compressor, a leveler, and a limiter. And then I can turn all of them off. But those are the settings that are on the camera. Obviously, that's not to the full functionality of a soundboard. So really, there's not a whole lot that gets done to them. But today we're going to be looking at what would basically be a raw look. Now I am going to kind of adjust everything so that you can hear me at this volume, but you should also be able to hear me playing these, and it won't screw over the sound a whole lot. I'm going to pause the recording and then basically keep the recording going at a different level. That way, it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to not have your ears fried by these things, because they're cymbals, they're loud. I will say this, the best thing that I have between all of these is one simple thing. Part of this comes from the series that I use all the gospel series of cymbals. They die out very quick, relatively quick compared to other cymbals. I love that. because you want to be able to cut through whatever sound, whatever wall of sound you have with your other musicians or whatever you're doing. You want to be able to cut through that sound, and it's basically like a huge wall, and you need to be able to punch through that wall with whatever you need to do, and you got to have that crash cymbal or the ride or whatever it is cut through that. Just enough to really sound good, not too much to distort anything or make it sound awful. I've played a lot of cymbals in my past that were not Soultone, and they sucked. They outrightly sucked to so many different degrees. And these are so much nicer because you don't want to hit your cymbal and have it sound like a gong going off. A gong is designed to and like linger over the next hour. You don't want cymbals to do that. You want it to just, I mean, maybe you do, but if you do, normally you're going to buy a larger size cymbal then. But these are incredible. I love them. If you look on SoultoneCymbals.com and kind of look into the story, you can see a little bit of how it started and all that, and it's a really cool story. So today I'm using my 16-inch Gospel Crash, my 18-inch Gospel Ride, and my 13-inch Gospel Hats. I will say the nice thing about this ride is you'll notice later on you can play this in a lot of different ways. You can play this a crash, which I do often. You can come down on both the crash and the ride at the same time, and this thing sounds immaculate. It doesn't sound like an awkward crash pretending type ride. It does really sound nice, but then it does really sound nice as a ride cymbal. And you can go from playing this more of a traditional sense on the bow. You can wash into it and crash into it. And then as you're playing, you can even come back up. And we've played it like that before, where I've been wash riding into it and then playing some stuff, some intricate stuff up here, and it articulates that. And that's the really cool thing as a drummer, is whenever you're able to do that, because that way you don't have this huge gongy sound and then you're trying to do all this intricate stuff that could sound cool musically, and you can't do that simply because the cymbal sounds like crap. So I'm going to go in here and going to adjust a few things so that it doesn't blare the sound out. And yeah, give me 1 second. Alright, so basically I'm going to kind of go through and play a little bit. I'm going to try to use a little bit of this overhead as an overhead. But I'm just going to try to give you guys the most raw sound. I'm going to try and do it without anything going through the drum mics. I'm going to try to do it so that the only microphone that's open is this one, and hopefully it'll sound pretty decent. Hopefully it gives you guys a really raw look at what these cymbals sound like whenever really nothing's done to them. The only thing that might be done is maybe a little bit of compression so that it doesn't totally obliterate the camera, so it doesn't obliterate the microphone or the audio side of it to clip out. This one can be a hair sensitive, so we normally try to pull it down a little bit. But today what I want to do is not necessarily try to show you how loud they are, but how nice they sound. They are cymbals, they're going to be loud. That's just the nature of the beast of playing the drums. So hopefully this will work alright, and you guys will hear the sound of what these things sound like just naturally, like if you were to be in this same room with me and you heard me playing them. So hopefully that's what we'll get out of this, and yeah, good luck. Okay, so obviously, hopefully that worked on the audio side of it, how I had the mic set up and everything. As far as the sound, I'm sorry if the drums sound horrible. I'm sorry. Normally they're going through microphones. But hopefully that gave an accurate representation of the cymbals. What I might do here in a second is give you guys this look. That was obviously with some drums getting played. I tried to give the best representation of maybe the cymbals, how they sound alone, and then whenever you're playing. The biggest thing that I can honestly say with them is the fact that whenever you're playing, obviously you have other musicians. You have other people playing with you. So obviously there's kind of a sound there that is going to be there that I don't have right now. I don't have a band playing. But they work really great. Compared to other cymbals, they're the best I've ever played. And that's not just because it's a huge product plug. They are sincerely the best cymbals that I've ever played. I love them. I have a lot of fun playing them. And the coolest thing is, there's a saying out there that if you have something of quality and you take good care of it, you'll have it forever. These cymbals make that a total understatement. I don't think I've taken care of equipment in the same way as I ever have until I got these cymbals. I've been with Soultone now for a few years, and so far it's been awesome. It really has. The coolest thing, even if you're out there and you're watching this video, just kind of as a, contemplating just buying them. If you don't necessarily have any interest in the whole artist side of it, playing on that level, or maybe you just, it's not that you don't have any interest, it's just that you're looking for new cymbals and looking for might be a good set to go for or a good brand to go for. The biggest thing that I can say that I love about Soultone is every time that I've ever had a question or anything like that, whatever it was, they talk to you like your family. Too many companies out there, their artist representatives are going to treat you like like family because they're an artist, they're endorsing our brand. And then whenever Joe off the side of the street comes in and he's just interested in some new cymbals, all you're seen as is just a sell, right? You're just a customer, and that is absolutely not the case with Soultone Cymbals. As far as cymbals are concerned, most, if not all of my drummer friends out there and you guys in the drum world and percussion family, so much of us is reflected in our instruments. And a big part of that is, like cymbals, it's unique sounds that make you who you are. It ends up developing who you are, especially if you're younger or newer to the industry. Because you're kind of, that's your sound, and they understand that, so they want to be able to match you up the best with what they think you're going to want. If you go in there knowing what you want, then they're probably going to take you straight to it because that's what you're wanting. The coolest thing is if you're just interested in Soultone as just cymbals, like you would any other brand, get on the website and you go, oh, well, I want to order these. So you click add to cart, you go through. You don't want any strings attached like that. If that's all you're going for, they're going to still treat you amazing. So I know some people, they will go, whatever product-wise, but customer service and experience is a huge thing to them, which it's perfectly fine. It should be that way. They treat you right. They will. I would vouch for that, and they're amazing. So once again, hopefully this gives you a decent idea. I'm gonna listen back, so hopefully it doesn't obliterate anything. I'm sorry for that if that's what happens. That's what happens whenever you don't necessarily use an overhead mic all the time. But whenever you're just trying to give the best raw, natural version of what your cymbals sound like. That's what happens whenever you don't exactly do that all the time. So hopefully this guy, just did it for you guys. If you do have any questions, let me know. However you can contact me, my phone will go off and I'll check it. Okay. Whether it's through Instagram, at the end of this video, there's going to be a little thing over here or over here that shows you how to get a hold of me. This is going to be my different social media. If you have any questions, go to one of those, check it out. If it's on YouTube, I might see it as a reply to the video, and it might take me a little bit longer time to get to your comment. Sometimes it's just what happens. It comes in as a notification. I don't see it as a question. I see it as a reply. So if you want to get a hold of me, do that, and hopefully we'll have more videos like this to come with gear, and hope you guys have a great day. See you later.